Big picture question. In the 2025 NFL season, which quarterback has the most pressure on them?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, every now and again.
Lamar Jackson?
That's interesting. Some people, Kurt Warner said Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen because Kurt thinks only in Super Bowl victories and championships.
Well, I think Lamar above Josh because Josh has been great in the playoffs. Going back to that 13-second game against the Chiefs, I think he played a perfect game almost. So you can't, the criticisms of him not winning a Super Bowl are a little different to me than Lamar has won MVPs, and then his play has diminished in the playoffs. So I think that changes it.
Let me ask you a question, though, because with the accomplishments comes expectation, but you're already a dude. Allen's got one MVP. Lamar's got two. Both of them have $250 million contracts, so money's not an issue. Both of you are probably Hall of Famers. So I get it. Winning the title is the ultimate, but if you don't win the title, you have generational wealth, and you will forever be remembered in the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. My answer to my own question was Caleb Williams because he's in his second year. Last year, he was the first pick of the draft. They have hired Ben Johnson. They have drafted guys for him. The guy that was drafted after him played better than him. He has talked about being a brand, and by the time he's ready to get his bag, it may be a $750 million bag to gather. Doesn't he have a significant amount of pressure for all of those reasons?
No, I would actually push back and say he doesn't have the most pressure in his own division.
J.J. McCarthy's never practiced, never played, rather.
I wasn't talking about J.J. McCarthy.
So you think it's Jared Goff or you think it's Jordan Love?
I think both of them might have more pressure.
Both of them have secured the bag.
Both of them have secured the bag. So you're just talking about money.
No, I didn't say.
No,
I did not say only about money.
It's a calculus.
Okay. But I think Jared Goff and Jordan Love, both of them have teams that have realistic Super Bowl expectations. Jared Goff, that team, did they peak? Is this the downswing? Who knows? Jordan Love, he had obviously that year 2 years ago where he finished the year super strong. Last year was up and down. They gave him money. Is he going to be the long? You know what I mean? If Jordan Love has a bad year, what do the Packers do? So obviously Caleb has pressure on him. But I think year 2 is still too early. I think year 3 is when the pressure really ramps up.
First of all, the position itself just dictates that you're going to have inherent
the most
pressure.
Pressurized position in sports.
Yes.
Yeah. Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray has a lot of pressure.
So much so that he doesn't even have to watch film himself. He's just playing whatever the video game is.
Is that true or is that a
I don't know. But he's secured the bag as well.
Okay, so you're just talking guys who haven't secured the bag. What about C.J. Stroud then? Wouldn't C.J. Stroud have more pressure than anyone?
Well, C.J. Stroud was Rookie of the Year.
I understand, but he was up and down last year, and he hasn't secured the bag.
I said you were just talking about Justin Fields. What about Justin Fields, who is playing for his starter life? This is his third team with the Jets. That's a pressurized situation, playing for that New York team, which is always dysfunctional, even more so than our team. And if he doesn't do well, he's probably a career backup.
Yeah. Bryce Young. Why isn't he playing with pressure? He's got to get the bag. He finished last year, well, but he's now got a lot of pressure because this is year 3. And
they all have pressure.
They all have pressure. I think we're finding out they all have pressure. Who's got the least amount of pressure of any quarterback in the NFL next year?
That's a good question. That's a better question. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
It's definitely Patrick Mahomes. What do you think about the Wickersham thing? Bears fans get very angry, at least some of them on social media, if you even broach the subject anymore. This is in the past. Move on. But we haven't talked to you since then on that Friday when it came out. What is your reaction to it?
My reaction was, so obviously the initial, I think the wording of the initial tweet was uh-oh, here we go. And then I read the article and I was like, where is Caleb and Carl Williams wrong? Nothing they said offends me.
And they were proven right. They were proven right, but based on the season.
Right. The Bears have had a terrible time figuring out the quarterback position. They had a coach who didn't know what he was in over his head. They had an offensive coordinator who was in over his head. Like, if you're Carl Williams or Caleb Williams, the concerns were all real, and they all turned out to be even more real than you thought. So as much as, like, I wanted, you wanted to get, like, offended by it, I looked at that article and I was just like, yeah, I don't really see anything. Now, if Eberflus was still the coach, that would be major, major issues. But Ben Johnson should fix all this. So I read that article. I was like, I'm not going to get upset about something where they were proven to be right.
Well, and the whole concept of he and his father investigated trying to possibly maneuver out of the number one spot here we already knew that.
Well, and I'll side with Karma on this. Like, many people disputed that. Or remember, Greeny got ripped for that. A lot of people didn't believe Colin, including me. Like, there were on this show, it was not.
But you didn't believe that his father actually,
when we were at the combine,
was viewing every potential option.
When we were at the combine, as this book dictates, there was no worry about Caleb Williams playing for the Bears.
Well,
Zero.
that's because the Bears were they were convinced that there was no question they were going to pick him.
According to the book, after he met with the Bears and after he met with the Vikings, he said to his father, "I want to be a Viking." That's right. News. That's stuff we didn't know.
But that's also
and I don't blame him. I'm not, I'm not blaming him.
O'Connell versus Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's smart. I walked away being like, Caleb Williams knows football coaches.
But I just get upset when I hear this. Well, we all knew this. No, that's not true.
No, I disputed it. Yeah, I fought back at it. I remember it and being like, "This is ridiculous." But it was, again, he was proven to be right.
Yes.
And I think that because Ben Johnson is in the building now, that article doesn't affect me as much as it would have if it were Eberflus still in the building.
But none of it, nobody pursued it hard. It was just a concept that was floated. Right. But there was no having to talk them out of anything. And there was never the presumption that any of that was ever going to happen.
Oh, yeah. None of that stuff bothers me.
Well, that's the point. I think the point where people are getting, irritated or arguing is the point about how, he told his father that there was nobody to help him. I don't think
that's where I get upset. Yeah.
Yeah, that is upsetting. But it also goes back to, we kind of knew that this coaching staff was in way over their head and didn't know what they were doing, and it was this complete mess. I mean, we saw it on the field.
But the issue is, Big Cat, we knew it before Poles. Poles is still in charge. So, yes, Ben Johnson is here, but while he may not screw up the quarterback, there are other issues he still could be in denial of, just like he was in denial with Velus Jones, just like he was in denial with Eberflus, just like he thought that Waldron was the answer in Caleb Williams' rookie season when he drafted him number one. What's next? Has he not put enough stock into the edge position? Has he not put enough stock into the left tackle position? This is my fear, and this is why I want Ryan Poles in the organization to learn from it.
Okay, so my counterpoint to that would be I do think Ben Johnson is going to be more in charge than the average head coach, which I'm excited for. Mm-hmm. And then I would ask you, if maybe you know the answer to this, because I don't know the answer to this, was it 100% Poles' decision to keep Eberflus?
I think there are conflicting reports, but at the end of the day, it was his guys, so he's you're forced to wear it.
This is how I counter that, because I don't believe that to be true. I believe that he wanted to bring him back, but let's say he didn't want to bring him back. Let's say, why then, when Ryan Poles coordinated the entire offensive coordinator search, he was writing that whole thing. He set up all the interviews, but it was Matt Eberflus's choice. If he didn't believe in Eberflus and he truly wanted Eberflus gone, why wouldn't the general manager then pick the offensive coordinator?
Well, because this is where the flawed reasoning of the entire offseason last year comes into play, where keeping Matt Eberflus was mistake number one. Yes. And once you make mistake number two, it compounds to more mistakes, where what offensive coordinator is going to take a job with a defensive head coach who is most likely going to be fired.
I think once you keep Eberflus, you've screwed the pooch.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, the Shane Waldron thing, that doesn't happen if, that's just you made them first mistake and then it became two mistakes, which I agree with. If that was Ryan Pohl's call, that's I just don't know. I don't know. I still can't figure out. I think it's maybe because Kevin Warren is very tight-lipped and we don't have any, I feel like who's the best source with Kevin Warren? Who's making all the decisions at the end of the day? Where does the buck stop? And this is also a bigger question of, this is where, an organization fails. If you can't answer who's making the decisions, that's a problem.
Well, this is what I would just surmise, that things changed. And you can like Kevin Warren, you can, be skeptical, whatever the case may be. Not you, just anybody. I don't believe they spend $13 million a year on a head coach without Kevin Warren in the building.
Do they explore Chicago as a place to build their stadium if Kevin Warren is not here?
I doubt
that one. That one confuses me. Where it's people are saying, "Oh, good job,
well,
Kevin Warren."
Well, they had bought
Arlington
the land
Heights.
in Arlington Heights prior to having Kevin.
That's my point. That
right.
If Kevin Warren wasn't here, they would have just built in Arlington Heights. Right. They would have done the smart thing. It's why I still can't buy everything until I see the final result on the field. I can't project greatness. I simply can't.
Well, I don't think many people can, especially when you don't have a history or a track record of it. So it'd be silly to sit here and tell you that I can guarantee you greatness when you've had...
Kevin Warren greenlit hiring Ben Johnson, but he also greenlit trying to work with the city of Chicago and wasted a year when they already own the land in Arlington Heights.
Right. I agree.
Yes. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when they build the building, Paradise in Arlington Heights, the big concern or the complaint is going to be it took you too long or it could have happened quicker.
Or maybe, hopefully they do it right.
Well, I can't guarantee either.
Because they didn't do it right last time.
Shovels could have been in the ground a year ago, and I'm not going to give them a cookie for finally getting the shovels in the ground.
No. But I can't also sit here. Listen, I can't dispute anything you're saying, but I'm excited about Ben Johnson. I'm not making any guarantees, but I'm not going to judge Ben Johnson up until the point, based on what Matt Eberflus did. All I can do is go off of how I feel about Ben Johnson and the staff he put together. That's all I can do at this point.
We said this, Waddle, when it was the coaching search. We said exactly this: that if the Bears do something out of the ordinary, that's when we're going to start perking up and being like, all right. If you hire a Mike Vrabel or you hire a Ben Johnson and pay him $13 million, that is not a normal
You've got my
move
attention.
By the Bears.
Yes.
Right. So maybe things are changing.
Here, one last thing for you. I wanted to bring this up. I know you already talked about this earlier in the week. This is Marco Rubio. We usually don't play any sound bites from politicians, but it's a quick 4 seconds, and he was talking about all the cuts that he has made in the government spending.
I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel.
What?
Dave texted me, and he goes, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" And I was live on air, and I was like, I freaked. I was like, "Wait, I don't think so. What are you talking about?" And then. And so for a second there, I was like, oh, my God, did I get money that I don't even know about? Is someone scamming me? And then obviously realized it was Big Cat Rescues. So they're trying to save, I don't know, some lions or something. Well, the lions need to be saved.
Obviously the move is you have to have Marco Rubio on the show.
Well, obviously the move is I should have been scamming USAID.
Well, that as well.
Mad at myself.
I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel.
Listen, your YouTube channel is tremendously more valuable than $227,000. So
I don't have one. It's
if
part
you
of my
did,
if
it would be more valuable than that.
But I'd take a check from the USAID.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, why not?
Because you're a stand-up guy. You're a stand-up.
I don't even know how this works. I tweeted I'm so mad at myself for not scamming the USAID, and then I had just the worst replies because I guess that's that type of joke is mildly political, and I just was I'm out.
Yeah.
I was I deleted the tweet. I was I'm out. I'm not doing
you deleted it. You didn't live with it.
Yeah, because it was people I was making a joke about Marco Rubio saying my channel, and I was just this is so stupid. And then everyone's oh, that this and that and Trump, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
doing this. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Okay, I don't blame you.
It's such a pleasant and civil place these days,
Yeah,
social media,
yeah.
isn't
I
it?
know, right? Oh, so fun being online.
All right, Big Cat, great stuff. Thank you.
All right.
See you, buddy.
See you guys.
There you go, Mr.
Later.
Vacation, Barstool Big Cat.